Yo, this is hour 8.3 in a video series I call Design and Code My Personal Website in 12 Hours. But you knew that by now because you're smart, and only smart people watch Dev Tips. And that's a fact. I knew that because I looked it up in my analytics. You know, you scroll down, it's in there, demographics, smart people. Just saying. Okay, enough talkie-talkie. Here's Small Trav. Hey, did you miss me? Oh, I missed you. I was sitting here for like a whole day, and I was like, oh, when are they coming back? They'll watch me on YouTube. No, I'm just kidding. That was like 1 minute ago. I just stopped and started the recording. But anyway, what we're going to do today is we're going to jump back into the articles section, and we're going to add a little sparkle and shine. And, just like to make it more interesting. Like these other ones here, this one got the parallax, this one got the... whatever that is, and this one got nothing. Got nothing. You got nothing. Now I want to add like a little. So here's what we're gonna do. Let's go to let's use the internet and look up animate animate CSS. Why do I want to do animate CSS? Because I don't feel like writing this all out myself. So we're going to look at animate.css, and let's go to the ta-da. So every time, see, I like this one, it's like, right, like this. Ta-da. Okay, let's just view it on GitHub. Let's not download the whole thing. View it on GitHub, and we'll go to your source. This is from Dan Eden, who is a boss, and attention seekers, and ta-da. This is what we want, this ta-da. So let's grab this ta-da. Grab that ta-da, and we're going to put it at the bottom here. And you notice that it's in CSS format or SCSS format. It's actually just CSS. So what we'll do is do the find in our browser and or our code editor, and we'll replace all of those with those. We'll replace all of these with these, and we'll replace all of that's with that's. Okay, now it's SCSS. Wonderful. Let's get rid of a few of these lines here. Okay, keyframes, ta-da. And now it says transform scale, and it says keyframes, and we don't have like, like dash WebKit, dash Moz, and that's fine because remember we're using auto prefixer, so don't worry about that. Don't worry about it. And we need to go to the thing that is going to get animated and say animation name ta-da, and get rid of that. The thing that's going to get animated is the article thumb, and we need to go to get something else. Go to the base too. We need to get these base things. Animated needs to have these as well. Okay, so put those on the, yeah, okay. Let's go check it out. Refresh. See, they're all darn. That's not what we want, but it's close. So let's make a class for article thumb, and we'll say if you're and we want to call this like an emphasize, right? Is env. If you're is env, then you get the animation, right? So let's simulate this. Come on. Okay. We'll find one of these guys there. And okay. Is EMPH. So when I hit off of this, this article thumb should dance. Like that. Perfect. So isEnv works. Now I need to do a little fun stuff like that will just, allow me to add isEnv randomly onto any of their numbers, right? So if we want to add fun stuff, we go to the fun, we type fun in our, no, just go to functions, sure, of course. All right, now we want to create a new function called, what do you want to call this? Let's call it article ta-da. And here's how it works. The article ta-da, we're gonna make a random number, right? Because we want to choose any of them at any time. And random is equal to math with a capital M, floor, and then we're going to do math again with a random. And then we'll take that random times what? Times however many things, or well, basically the upper limit of the number of the randoms we want to get, which is actually, if we just count the article thumbs and then say dot length, that's how many there are. Plus 1, because we want to offset it because it's 0 index counting. Okay, that's the random number. Now that we have a random number, a random selection of these, let's take that article thumb. What is it, percent? It should be a dollar bill, yeah. Oh, that's wrong too. It's a percent, it should be a dollar. Okay, article dash thumb, and we're gonna say EQ means, EQ is a jQuery thing. It means take the selection, the selected object. This right here will grab all 12 of them, and this will say narrow it down to like the third or the second or the sixth one. But we want to narrow it down to random. So whatever the random number returns, that's the number that we want to choose of them. Narrow it down there and add the class is env. Right? And then we want to go to all of the siblings of the one we chose, and we want to just make sure that it doesn't have a class of isEnv on it, because that would be bad if they all had isEnv, right? They'll all be bouncing all the time. So we have a function here that will find a random one of these guys and add an isEnv to it. Let's run this function. See what happens. Are you going to bounce? You going to bounce? One of them should bounce. That beardy dude bounced. Okay, now it only bounced once, and only one of them bounced once, which is fine, but what we want to be doing is bouncing like one of them all the time. So we're going to stick this function here into another JavaScript thing. It's called setInterval. Now what this will do is it'll set up a timed whatever function. So after this comma, I'm going to write a time, let's say 4 seconds or 4,000 milliseconds. And I'll put this function as a callback inside of this function. Now, every 4 seconds, another one of these should go, just saying, oh yeah, hey, click me. Is that happening? Are you doing that? Why is it not working? Why you make me so sad? So sad all the time? I don't know why it's not working. Okay, let's look critically at what we're doing here. We have a function, and then we put it, here we are, it needs to be a capital I. Because there's no I in setInterval except for the capital I that you didn't put a capital I. So let's do it now. It's going to do it. I have faith. I have hope. Yes! That face. Okay. Do another one. Another one. Ha! Every 4 seconds we got a little ta-da, ta-da. Cool. All right. So this is fantastic. This is exactly what I wanted. What else can we do? What I want to do though, what I really want to do though, is I want to do when you're scrolling down, basically like this. If I'm at the top here and I scroll down and I get to the mentoring section, these things pop up. And that's cool. It gives my attention. I'm a user. I'm like, oh, something moved. I'm like a T-Rex. I'm a T-Rexosaurus. That grabbed my attention. And these things are grabbing my attention too, the little ta-das. Oh, I love it. Wait a second. Do I love it? I don't love something about it. Did you see that? Watch. You see that? You see how the ta-da is still under the next one right there? The lady, okay, the lady's face was on top of the little seat. Okay. What we need to do, go back to those articles, okay, is env. You know what you need? You need a z-index. Change your life with the z-index. Let's take a look now. The next env should be on top of everything around it. You don't count because you're in the end. You don't count either. Come on, show me. Nailed it. Okay. Where were we? Oh, yes. Scrolling down and having things happen while you scroll down. That's what we want to happen to us. And we already have a scroll function right here. Start mentoring. Let's make a start articles. And let's find this start mentoring and go right below it. Let's go right above it because mentoring has other stuff attached to it. All right, function start articles. That has a nice sound to it. Start articles. Start articles. Start articles. In our start articles section, function rather, we want to do this, grab this scroll like we do. We want to have that variable there, and then we want to say if the articles, basically like this, right? Same thing. Boop, 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 boop. Does it really say minus 400 or minus 500? Okay, here's the thing. This is a hard number, minus 500, and what it is right here, remember last week we said if we scroll into the viewport negative 500 pixels, we're going to pop this, what is it? We're going to add launch to the mentoring section. So let me just demonstrate this for you. Refresh. There's nothing in that mentoring section, right? Green screen, somewhere right there. As we scroll and we get like 500 pixels from, let's actually count it out. Should be right about right here. As we get around here, they will pop. See that? Okay. The problem with that is, what if your screen is only yay large? Scroll back to the top, refresh. Now 500 now 500 is down inside here. So they should already be popped by the time we get to it. See? Less fun, less exciting. Why don't we say instead of negative 500, we'll say minus what? Minus the window height minus divided by 2. So minus half of the window height. So no, it's not about pixels anymore, it's about dimensions. So when this line, this blue line, gets to about half, this will show. Or never show. What did I do wrong? Window minus window height. Oh, it's breaking because of this if statement. I need to finish my JavaScript before I write other JavaScript, but watch. Okay, so now it should work. Okay, right when this blue line gets to about halfway, it should, okay, see? Now this should be better because if we are like this, again, this blue line, oh, let me refresh. This blue line will be half of the screen before these things, and it'll give you time for the user to notice it, right? So I like that better rather than saying minus 500. Let's do that here too. Let's grab this again. Okay. Now it's not section.mentoring, this time it's section.articles. Articles? What section are you? Articles. Okay. If this is in position, we want to throw out a function. What's our function? Our function is going to be, we're going to identify these article thumbnails. And we'll say for each of them, do a this function. Oh, and here we want to keep track of which one they are. So I'll just put an I for iterator. And for each one of these, we want to grab one of them. And I'm not saying this for a reason. I'll show you why. We want to grab one of them, and the one that we want to grab, I already explained to you EQ is I. So let me explain that. So each happens, and what that each does is it says it loops for each one in the object. So remember when I said this is all 12? So 12 of them are in the jQuery object, and then the function of each iterates this next portion of the function for each one. It loops 12 times. And I captures the number of the loop. So this, if the loop is on the fourth loop, this will be find the fourth article thumb, right? Okay, so find that one and then add a class. We just add classes. We're just so classy. Is visible. Visible. That's how you spell it. And that's cool. So let's save that, and then let's check these guys out. Okay, they don't have the class. Oh. That all happened at once. They all got the class is visible, which is good. That's what we want. So let's go back to our SAS, article thumb, and say opacity 0 and is visible opacity 1, and then transition, of course. And then transition to make that happen like a fade in. Transition all 300 milliseconds. And ease in. Oh, I feel like I write this a lot. I should like make a mix-in or a variable or something. Okay, that looks good. Cool, let's refresh. Okay, see how they all faded in like that? That's exactly what I want to happen, but I want them to happen one at a time. And the way that you do that, let's go back to this function and put it in a set timeout. Put it in a timeout. Now, a set timeout is another JavaScripty thing that's similar to what we did with set iteration or set interval. Set timeout function. That. Okay. Now, Okay, so the set timeout, it says wait for a moment and then run what's inside of this function. But how long shall it wait? It shall wait 300 seconds. Okay, let's refresh. Scroll. It waited 300 seconds and then it loaded them all in. That's not what we wanted. We wanted them to wait 300 seconds from the last one. Well, fantastic. That's really easy to do because remember we captured the number that it's on. So we'll say 300 times that number. Now, if you're 300 times 1, it's 300, right? But the second one will take 600 milliseconds, and the third one, and so on, right? So let's rebuild and refresh. Refresh. Here we go. See that? Do. And then it popped up. I love. It was kind of musical. Oh, that's wonderful. We did this already in another tutorial on the parallax series, which is fine. It's good to reuse those things that we know. All right, I'm happy. What do you guys think? So we got. Let's just refresh. Let's just refresh this. Scroll down. These are popping up at the right time. Now in the middle here, these will be like boop 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 boop. Maybe that's taking a little long. Maybe we'll say 200. Yeah. I'm into it. I'm into it. Wasn't that delightful? This hour is officially over, and next we're going to be jumping into the Vine section, and it is awesome. Okay, be sure to subscribe to the newsletter and the podcast. I give these things away for free, but honestly, I could charge for the massive amount of value that we give away. I would love it if you joined us as a patron of the show. Visit patreon.com/devtips right there to find out what swag the DevTips patrons get. And until next time, keep on hacking.